You are now listening to Cable Connect with Dr. Jason Cable, VP of Intercollegiate Athletics at Alabama State University, the place where history is made. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 8th episode of Cable Connect. Here I have with me Coach Camise, Patterson, head softball coach here at Alabama State University, making a strong run towards the SWAC championship this year. Camise, thank you for joining me on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Cable.
It's been a whirlwind. I know you got here less than a year.
Yeah.
And so was excited to get you to come over from FAMU. Had a lot of success there.
Yeah.
We know you're going to duplicate that and more here, but just kind of talk about the transition, being in the conference and making a decision to come over to Alabama State.
Oh man, well, I was very grateful for the opportunity to be able to come over here. I had a great time at FAMU, but I definitely felt like my time was coming to an end. And I was actually looking to I wanted to make a transition. So when I got the call from Alabama State about, the interest and seeing what I was interested in, I was really excited. I didn't expect to stay in the same conference because that is very hard, because you got to think like the team that I recruited is now the team that we're playing against. And we actually had them this weekend. Right. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very competitive. But I think that was the hardest part during the whole transition was, leaving somewhere that felt like home. I've been in Tallahassee for 8 years, so that really was home. I still kind of consider that home because that's where all my people are. Mm-hmm. But coming here, coming to a place where the school's a little bit smaller, a little bit more intimate setting, but our facilities are even better. But still knowing that I have to compete against the ones that I know can get the job done with the team that I didn't really know what we had when I first got here. Right.
And so you talk about the team that you really didn't know, kind of got the job late.
Yeah.
And so when you look at your schedule, you had 100% Division I schedule.
Yes.
And no other team in the conference played 100% of Division I schools. And you were able to get your first win against UConn. So just talk about the toughness of the schedule. And we see the program and the team really trending up right now in the latter part of the season.
Yeah, well, typically, even when at my last school, we tried to make sure we played a really tough schedule. A lot of Power Five, a lot of the Conference 25, the Group of Five. There we go, the Group of Five schedule as well. But here it was a little bit tougher because we still had those games even late in the season. Like we had Alabama earlier, we had them twice, and so knowing that we had those midweeks, I think kind of set us up for a very successful end of our season compared to the beginning. But it was tough. It was really tough. Like you look and it's like you don't get a weekend off. You don't get a chance to play other HBCUs or other schools that you feel like you can go out there and dominate against them. You play schools where it's like they're top 25 schools, they're top 10 schools, top 5 a little bit. And it was just really tough. But our message to the team the whole time was, hey, we're playing these games to get us prepared for SWAC play. Like we might not see it right off the bat, but if we can learn how to compete in these games and how to overcome failure during these games, it's going to be easier once we play teams that we might feel like we're better than or we're on the same level as. And then that first win against UConn, my gosh, that was huge. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, like it's the bottom of the 6th inning, and I'm sitting over there. I'm like, okay, we got to score some runs. We got to do something. Like, come on, we were down. Like, it was a comeback win. Mm-hmm. And UConn, they had been talking a little bit of trash. And so when I told the team that, I think it kind of got on their skin a little bit. And they were just like, oh, like just because they rumbled us the first time, they think they're just gonna walk all over us again. And that kind of was their motivating factor of, hey, y'all, we got to string some hits together. We got to figure out how to win a game. Right. And I think that is what's really carrying us through even this far this season is we figured out how to get it done. And if we can figure it out against a team like UConn, we can figure it out against anybody, especially those Rattlers from up the street.
Well, we hope so. And you talk about playing the top 25 programs, and we played Alabama twice, once on the road and once here. Both really close games. The one in Tuscaloosa lost 6-4. Yep. The one here, all the way to the 6th inning, we were in striking distance, 0-2. They made some great plays. We did too, but it was just kind of hard for us to get over the hump. So what's the message to the team when you perform that well against a top 20 program?
The message that we're telling them is if we can perform like that against a top 20 team, is how come when we play teams in our conference, we don't perform the same way? Right. And we've been on this roller coaster ride of playing up to our competition and then playing down to our competition. Mm-hmm. And so we're finally at the point where we know our identity. Mm-hmm. We're a very well energized team. We have a lot of energy, but we have to put it we have to direct it the right way. And so when we do that, we play well. And so knowing that we're playing Alabama close, knowing that we played, like I said, we beat UConn, knowing that we played New Mexico really, really tough earlier, Mississippi State, like all those schools is, hey, if we come out here and we compete with the top schools in the nation, we have to come out here and compete the same way against teams in our own conference.
Right. And we had some holdover from last year, returning players, and you had a couple in. You got here late, but you were able to land some good recruits. And so the young ladies are performing very well. So talk about just the returning players, and because you're really big on culture, family environment, and it takes time. It's a process. And I know we kind of talked early on, and you kind of saw it coming together. And so I always had positive forecasting for the team, and so you never seem to get rattled through the peaks and the valleys. And so talk about how you get those players that don't know each other, short period of time to mesh together to get where you are now.
I think the biggest piece with that is, like you said, it takes time. I'm not the most patient person. I want everything to happen right now. So I wanted our culture to be different right now from the jump. And that's one thing I expressed to them is, hey, like, here's my standard. And my standard is the standard. And, I know our new basketball coach said the same thing. I think I said it in one of my opening interviews as well. But
so did Coach Hayes steal that from you?
I'm not gonna say she stole from me. Coach Hayes, she didn't steal from me. Coach, don't let him put words in my mouth. But I'll tell you, I got it from Mike Tomlin. I'm a big Steelers fan, and for him, he's always preached the standard is a standard.
I knew I liked.
And so, go Steelers, go Steelers. See, we're on the same page, Doc. But he always says that, and so like that was preached to me growing up. As an athlete and as a person, is like whatever the standard is, you have to meet the standard or you have to exceed it. And so for me, it was really important to come in here and set the standard high for the players and let them know that like either they get on board or they got to go home. And I think once they kind of saw that, some of the players that weren't on board, they were either let go or they cut themselves. I think the rest of the team kind of saw, like Coach P's not playing, and they started to kind of get on board and they started asking more questions, and we came to a really good understanding. And I also told them, I was like, for me, I like to coach out of love. And so anything I do is because I care about you as a player. I care about you as an athlete, and I love you as a person. And so if I can show that love to them on the field and off the field, then that's what's going to help our culture only grow and get better. And I think I've done a pretty good job of doing that this year. The returners, they say I'm very different than Coach Bradley. Like, you're a little bit different. And I'm like, like no two coaches are the same. But for them to come in and them to buy in has helped the newcomers really come in and buy in. And then being able to bring Jabrielle, or we call her Jabby from FAMU, having her come in, be a senior this year, and having her already know what my coaching style is. And so kind of having that guiding voice on the field and in the dugout as well, who already knows my standard and my expectations, that has really helped them understand more about me and more about the coaching staff and what we expect from them. And that's really helped drive our culture. And then, parents, I'm a coach who I don't mind talking to parents. I actually like talking to parents because if I can get a better understanding of what the parents are telling the kids and how they grew up and what the parents are feeling and what they're thinking, it only helps me relate to the kids that much more.
Right. And so team building, short time period, patience, a little challenge with getting your culture in place. What are some of the team building activities? Because they seem to be close-knit, at least when I'm around.
No, they are. They are. They've expressed to me several times, and the coaching staff several times, that this is the closest that they've been since they've been here. That's what the seniors have said. They're like, we don't have any drama. Like, everybody gets along with everybody. Like, we cheer for each other. Like, they're not pitted against each other. They don't feel like, well, I don't want her to do well because I want to have her spot. They feel like, if the team does well, I do well, we're all doing well, we're good. And I think a lot of that has come from a lot of team meetings. That's where a lot of our team bonding has happened, is we meet a lot. And I know they get tired of me being like, hey, team meetings Monday morning, team meeting Monday afternoon. Hey, we're going to forego practice today to have a team meeting, to have a classroom session with y'all just to get to know y'all a little bit better. But that's where a lot of them came from. I think we met in the spring, we met every week, twice a week, leading up to our first couple games. In the fall, we met at least 3 times a week, just a meeting setting. We also had some speakers come in. So we had actually Dr. Janelle Baker. She came in and she did a session with our team. Then we had one of our alumni come in and she did a session with our team talking about being that girl. And so having other people from the outside come in and really pour into them so that they're hearing the same message but from a different source has really helped as well. And then we eat together. Like that's a piece that I think is a lost part within athletics, is sitting down, breaking bread together. Absolutely. And just being like, hey, like, we're here together. We have to eat. We have to, we're going to have a good time. And for me, I ride the bus. I think when they see me riding the bus, to these long tournaments instead of driving my own self, and they see me, okay, hey, like I'm down there at breakfast when they're at breakfast, and I'm talking to them. I think that's also kind of made our whole staff and our whole team a lot closer because we're always around. We're always around. We're always in their face. We're always asking to do stuff. And we're big on community service. So getting them out to the community, getting us also being out in the community has only helped them see like, a lot of hands makes light work. And so that's what we've been preaching to them. And that's most of our team building. We don't really go out and we haven't, I won't say we won't in the future, but we haven't gone out and done like a lot of like bowling or skating or stuff like that because I didn't feel like it was necessary this year. Next year it might be, but the biggest thing was just getting an understanding of where they came from, who they are as people, and then letting them tell each other like who they are, what they like, what they don't like, and just getting a better sense of self and a better sense of the person beside them on the field has really helped us come together. Okay,
and so you talk about the team building piece, you can see it coming together. Yeah. At what point did you see it click? Like during the season, even through the challenges, at what point did you say, okay, we're moving in the right direction, we have something?
I think I saw it click most when we were at Mississippi State, and it was a game, we lost the game. It was a way they talked to each other after that loss. During the game, they were energized, we had a lead, we almost run-ruled the team, and we took our foot off the gas. And it was after that game that we started to come together because they said everything I was going to say. They said, hey, we took our foot off the gas. We had them. We counted them out, and we stopped doing everything that got us there. And when we did that, like the energy died, and we stopped talking. We stopped communicating. We didn't have each other's backs. Like we became selfish. We swung for ourselves instead of for the person on base. And at that point, I said, oh, they're getting it. Like they're understanding. And then that next game, we had that same team, Northwestern State, and we came out and we put it on them. Right. And at that point, I was like, we got it. We got it. We still got some work to do, but we got it. Yeah, we're good.
And congratulations on the Community Service Award. You had the most community service hours in any team on campus.
Thank you.
And I know Coach Robinson, he's coming for you.
He came for us this year. That was one of the first things I heard from him when I got on campus is, hey, like they won community service last year. Before I got here under Coach Bradley, they won it, I think, the last 2 years, actually. And then he told me, he said, football's going to win this year. And I said, well, I like a challenge. I'm very competitive. As we saw in the kickball game, I'm very competitive. But I told him, I said, we'll see. We'll see. And I told him, I said, hey, we don't lose. We're not going to lose. We're not going to win. We're not going to lose the Community Service Award. We're not going to lose the SWAC tournament. We're not going to lose, some of these games, these close games. Like, we got to learn how to win. So I think if we won that Community Service Award, I think we can win the SWAC tournament, too.
Okay.
It's gonna take some playing, but we got it.
One and the same.
Yes, it is. It is.
So when you're outside of the lines, outside of softball, what kind of keeps you grounded, keeps you going?
Oh man, definitely my family. My family, my close friends, the ones who I can call and I can, the side that I can't show on the field. When I can kind of show some of that frustration and stuff. The ones who I know they'll pick up the phone anytime I call them and they listen to me vent. They listen to me. Gripe and moan a little bit and kind of just let it out and then always bring me back down to earth. So them and then my dog, Tuki. I have a big 5-year-old golden doodle and, we go on long walks and he plays outside and, I think sometimes he can sense when I'm frustrated too. And he'll just kind of come up and, try and cuddle me on the couch or something like that. And so that helps keep me grounded. And then I love playing pool. So I was able to put a pool table in the house this year. And so anytime I'm like, I just need to kind of bring it back down to earth. That definitely is something I'll do. I'll play for hours by myself with somebody else, and it's just a nice little thing to do.
That's
yeah.
I know some people that can play pool very well.
Are you one of those people?
Maybe. We may have to set up a contest.
Hey, we can do that. That's fine. I'll tell you, I'm nice on the pool table too.
Left hand or right hand?
I'm right-handed.
Okay.
I'm right-handed.
I'm a lefty on the pool table, so I got better angles. Just depends.
See, now we got to set it up for real. We really got to set it up.
Yeah. So, favorite food?
Oh, I like to cook. So there's a dish I make. It is this jerk salmon pasta, and that is probably my favorite food to eat. Yeah. So anything pasta really.
Favorite music? Favorite song right now?
I love gospel music. I'm a church kid. Grew up in church, so I love gospel music. On Sundays, if y'all ever come to the softball game on Sundays, we have gospel Sundays. I figure if we could play all the other music, the rest of the week we could play gospel music on Sunday. So love gospel music. That also helps keep me grounded. Then I love R&B, old school R&B, a little bit of jazz. I'm a music person, so I like everything. Sometimes country, sometimes soul, but anything really. But gospel has my heart.
Has your heart. Has your heart. So if we were to call over a player right now, to mimic you, who would it be and what would they say?
Ooh. I think I think if you called over, I think Jayla or Leah, they typically have the best impressions. And I think Leah would be like, something about extension, get to extension, you got to get the extension. And Jayla, I don't know what Jayla would probably just be like, she'd probably be like, you always say, don't be a hero, be a hitter. Don't be a hero, be a hitter. One of them two, they definitely got it. But the whole team, they love to mimic me. Like sometimes I'll be walking up, they don't think I'm behind them, they don't know I'm behind them, and they'll say something. I'm just like, oh, that's how I sound, But the coaching staff, they're really the ones who,
they got you.
Yeah, they got me. They got me down to a T.
And then if you had to mimic one of them, one of your players, you had to give an impression of one of your players.
I mean, there's just so much personality. No, I don't know, because they all have like one or two things they do. I think Mason, one of our pitchers, she's the funniest. Like the faces she makes on the mound, especially if she doesn't get a call she thinks she's supposed to get, she just be like, I'm like, okay, Mason, like fix your face. Come on, next pitch. But they all have something they do. Caitlin, when she's pitching, she like she sticks her tongue out. I'm not gonna do that, but yeah, they all have something. And they're characters for real.
And so you can tell in terms of what type of mood they're in, if they're playing well, what to expect by the mannerisms.
Oh yeah, like if they're cheering and they're loud and they're talking a little bit of trash, nothing too crazy, but talking a little bit of trash, I know we're in a good spot. And then for me, they told me they said, Coach, you got to coach pissed off. Like if you look happy and you just like you're enjoying life, we don't take you serious. And I said,
they don't respond to something.
They don't respond to that. Yeah, like Leah, I'll tell you, Leah the other day, she said, yeah, y'all tried that gentle parenting stuff. She's like, it doesn't work for this team. I said, all right, Leah, well, y'all get the Patterson will come out of me. So, so if y'all ever see me over there and I look mad, I'm probably not mad. I got to act like that to make them perform how they need to perform.
Got it. And so can you tell Hornet Nation what to expect moving forward? I know we got FAMU coming up this weekend, head to the SWAC tournament, the 6th through the 9th.
Yes.
In Gulfport, Mississippi. So critical time right now.
Yeah, it is.
Finish up the series against the number one team in the East, and then heading to the SWAC championship.
Yeah, I'll say this weekend, expect some good competition. It's going to be really tough competition. It's also senior weekend, so a chance for our seniors to shine and to get a little bit more playing time if they don't already play. But expect a lot of trash talking this weekend. Like I said, it's the team that I recruited versus the team that I coach, which is going to be fun. And then going into the SWAC tournament, expect us to perform. Like that's the expectation, that we come out here and we perform. We're a very lively team, so expect a lot of liveliness happening during the SWAC tournament, and expect us to come out here and to put on a show. That's our goal, put on a show.
Is there anything else you want Hornet Nation to know about you or the softball program before we wrap it up? Let's
see, softball. Well, look, come out here to the games. We love having big crowds. They play better when we have a big crowd. So check out our schedule, especially for next year. We'll have that schedule out sometime in the fall, I'm sure. And look and make sure that y'all get out here for a softball game. I'm not gonna say it's better than baseball. It moves a little bit faster than baseball,
right.
A little bit more entertaining than baseball sometimes. So if you're somebody who loves baseball, but maybe you need to move a little bit quicker, come check out softball. We're one of the fastest growing sports in the nation.
Wow.
And we wanna make sure that we get the community out here too. So we'll have community day and we'll have a couple camps coming up here soon during the summer. So just keep an eye out for what we got going on, but we got some big things in the works.
Right. All right, so thank you once again for chiming in to the Cable Connect with Coach Camise Patterson. We're looking forward to winning this weekend and also performing very well in the SWAC tournament.
Thanks, Dr. Cable.